Fight just ended. Joshua Buatsi beats Marko Calic by 7th round TKO. Like, subscribe, share this video, jab that subscribe button, detonate your right hand on that bell button. Let's jump into it. Joshua Buatsi beats Marko Calic by 7th round TKO. So, you know, strange fight as it was. Let me just give this straight download, my quick 2 cents. Strange fight as it was. Joshua Buatsi, let's just put it this way. Joshua Buatsi didn't look great at all, man. He didn't look great at all. Marko Calic, everyone was talking about Marko Calic. He's going to get smashed up. He's going to get beat. He's going to get knocked out. He's a milkman. Little do people know that Marko Calic has a decent amateur record. You know, I think he fought in the World Series of Boxing. I think he has. But he has a decent, you know, good amateur record. Joshua Buatsi, obviously Olympic champion. Great amateur record in his own right. But for this fight, Calic listen, the guy was obviously taller than Joshua Buatsi, bigger than Joshua Buatsi. You know, he was able to just basically spend the fight landing his, you know, his basic 1-2s. Somehow they kept getting through, you know, Joshua Buatsi's guard, so much to the fact that his left eye, you know, got swollen so badly. I don't even think he could see through his left eye. Bashed up, punched up by Marko Calic. You know, the guy was just, you know, on the ropes. He was slipping on the ropes. Buatsi couldn't get in range, couldn't get on the inside. His corner was telling him to throw the left hooks. He wasn't doing it. His corner was telling him, you know, not to fall in, because, you know, Calic was whenever time Buatsi tries to come in with his flurries, you know, Calic was catching him with his right hand. That is how, you know, Buatsi ended up actually getting his eyes swollen, you know, in the first place. He kept falling in. His flurries weren't landing. His hooks, he weren't coming off with the hooks. You know, not a great performance by Buatsi. Some would say, you know, he hasn't fought for a long time, and this, that, and the other. Calic hasn't fought, I think, since last year. And, you know, even the commentator was saying there's no excuses. No one's really been fighting. No fights been happening. Lockdowns been taking place. No one's really been in the gym or training properly as they would normally do. So they're arguing that, you know, I haven't really been training. I haven't done it. Like, no one's gonna buy that. And Buatsi, this was not his greatest, you know, performance. I actually would say, arguably, this is his toughest opponent he's arguably had to face. You know, obviously they say Buatsi hasn't had to pass 7 rounds, and again, he hasn't had to pass 7 rounds again, you know. But for me, you know, when they're talking about, you know, Buatsi taking on the likes of Anthony Yarde, you know, I think they need to pump the brakes on that, because if Joshua Buatsi came into the Yarde fighting the way he did against Calic, I think Anthony Yarde would have knocked him out. Just power shots, you know. I don't think with that that swollen eye that he had there, you know, and the way he was fighting there, I think lions in the camp. I don't think Tunde Ajayi in the corner, I think they would have pounced on him. And I have a feeling with the technical ability that Yarde is now presenting now, and the power that he displays, and he's much more of a bigger, you know, he's just making light heavyweight. You know, he's the bigger light heavyweight than Joshua Buatsi. I think it will cause Joshua Buatsi all manners of problems. If Joshua Buatsi was to go in with Yarde like next, for example, I think it will cause him problems. But, you know, so, you know, you have to just wait and see what happens. So drop your comments in the comment section below. Have you seen the fight? What do you think about Joshua Buatsi's performance? Because his performance, for me, it wasn't the greatest of performance. Obviously, we've seen him perform better, but this is arguably the opponent he's faced. Obviously, this Marko Calic is no world champion. He's not really like one of these high-ranked guys. But with the amateur record he's got, you know, apparently, I don't know I think it was World Series of Boxing, I think he's done, but he's got a good amateur record. Even the commentator said so. You could actually visibly see that he had a good amateur background with what he was doing against Buatsi, and it was causing Buatsi massive problems. A lot of problems there. And let's quickly jump into how the 7th round stoppage even took place. It was crazy. Like, obviously, I think Buatsi had him going, but like, I don't think Marko Calic was anywhere near to even being stopped. I'm like, all of a sudden, the team said, his corner man said, stop the fight. And I was like, what? I felt like he could have survived that, you know. I don't think he could. I didn't see him in any desperate trouble. But maybe this corner, maybe he had something wrong in sparring or in the gym, or I don't know. For one reason or the other, his corner stopped it. Even Buatsi looked surprised that his corner man stopped it. Marko Calic's cornerman stopped it, and then that's all she wrote. TKO victory for, Joshua Buatsi. What does he take from this? It's the first time I think Buatsi's really had to go to trenches, with any sort of damage, in his professional career so far, having his eye in serious trouble, So it's a good learning curve for Joshua Buatsi bolding forward, and at this point in his career, he's probably as much learning as possible, he can pick up, because we saw what happened when, Anthony Yard. Obviously, Anthony Yard did astoundingly well for someone who didn't have, hadn't fought any, credible, seriously opponents before fighting Kovalev. But if Anthony Yard had more fights, or even if Anthony Yard had fought a Marko Calic before fighting a Sergey Kovalev, it could have bowled in well. There's certain things he could have picked up from there, getting into trenches, bowled in well, taking on a world champion in Sergey Kovalev. So these fights that Buatsi's taking, the higher you go up, the tougher the fights are going to get, and the more he's going to learn. So a lot of things that Buatsi can take from here that he's probably going to use, maybe it's when he's fighting bigger, much more tougher opponents, which is going to be interesting to see what happens later in the heavyweight division, light heavyweight division, when we see the likes of maybe Buatsi taking on domestic bouts against the likes of Anthony Yard. So drop your comments in the comment section below. What do you think about my comments? You're gonna have to, I don't know when the fight is gonna be released on the Sky Sports, probably the highlights will have to come out or something. Have you seen this fight? What is your take on this fight? Drop your comments in the comment section below. Do you think Joshua Buatsi is going to become a light heavyweight champion? Can he defeat and potentially stop Anthony Yard? Jab that subscribe button, detonate that right hand on that bell button, join the KBV boxing community, like, subscribe, share this video, do the good stuff. Is Joshua Buatsi going to take over the light heavyweight division? Drop your comments again. Cool.